Spain has some of the most tempting all-inclusive resorts in Europe. Huge swimming pools, endless buffets, ocean view balconies, and enough free drinks to make you forget what day it is. At least that is what the photos promise. Because once you arrive, that peaceful pool may be surrounded by hundreds of guests fighting over the same 20 sunbeds. That enormous buffet may begin to feel suspiciously familiar by day 3, and your premium all-inclusive wristband may suddenly exclude the drinks, restaurants, and services you assumed were included. Today, we are looking at Spanish all-inclusive resorts that deserve serious caution before you book, not because every guest has a terrible experience, and not because these hotels have nothing good to offer, but because their attractive prices, star ratings, or carefully selected photographs may create expectations that the real experience does not always meet. We looked at recent guest feedback, value for money, food, room quality, and the complaints travelers keep mentioning again and again. We will also reveal a few Spanish resorts that appear to deliver a much more convincing all-inclusive experience. And stay until the end, because the final safe option does something almost unheard of at an all-inclusive resort. It actually encourages you to leave the property. Let us begin in Mallorca, where one adults-friendly hotel proves that removing children does not automatically create silence. Number 7. Ona Luna Park, Mallorca. Ona Luna Park is located in El Arenal, one of Mallorca's liveliest resort areas. The beach is within walking distance. Shops, restaurants, nightlife, and public transportation are nearby. And because the property is marketed toward guests aged 16 and older, you might imagine a relaxed adults-only atmosphere. Quiet mornings, peaceful evenings, maybe a calm drink beside the pool while everybody pretends they understand the difference between cava and champagne. But the words adults-friendly require careful interpretation here. This is not necessarily a luxury adults-only retreat. El Arenal is known for nightlife, groups of young travelers, bars, and late evenings. That can be perfect when your goal is to spend the day at the beach and the night somewhere much louder. But it may disappoint couples who see the age restriction and assume they are booking a quiet romantic escape. A recurring issue mentioned by some guests is noise. Thin walls, activity in the corridors, doors closing, neighboring rooms, and guests returning late can make sleep difficult during busier periods. Of course, noise depends heavily on who is staying there during your particular week. You might have a completely peaceful visit, or you might learn the exact time every guest on your floor returns from the nightclub without ever meeting them. The food also appears to divide opinion. Some guests describe the buffet as perfectly acceptable for a 3-star property. Others find it basic, repetitive, or lacking variety. And that difference in expectations is important. When you book a lower-cost 3-star hotel, a simple buffet may be entirely reasonable. But the phrase all-inclusive can make travelers imagine unlimited restaurant-quality meals. Usually it means unlimited access to the same buffet. Those are not the same thing. The rooms are generally described as fairly basic rather than luxurious. Again, that is not automatically a problem. A clean, simple room can be excellent value when you plan to spend most of your vacation outside the hotel. But if your dream holiday involves sleeping late, relaxing in your room, ordering premium cocktails, and enjoying high-end dining, this is probably the wrong match. Ona Luna Park makes the most sense for younger travelers, groups, and budget-conscious visitors who want easy access to El Arenal. It makes far less sense for light sleepers or couples expecting the type of polished adults-only escape shown in luxury travel advertisements. The lesson is simple. Do not book the age restriction. Book the actual atmosphere. And our next resort presents the opposite problem. Instead of being too close to the action, some guests may find themselves farther away from it than expected. Number 6. Blue Sia, Costa Jardín and Spa, Tenerife. The photographs of Blue Sia, Costa Jardín and Spa are easy to understand. A large outdoor pool, palm trees, gardens, views toward the mountains and the Atlantic, a spa, sports facilities, and an all-inclusive package in one of Tenerife's most popular destinations. On paper, it sounds like excellent value. The hotel sits in Puerto de la Cruz on the greener northern side of Tenerife. This part of the island can be beautiful. It feels more traditionally Canarian than some of the major purpose-built resort zones in the south. You are close to dramatic scenery, historic streets, and the enormous Mount Teide rising above the island. But the location is not directly in the center of Puerto de la Cruz. That matters if you imagine casually walking out of the hotel every evening and immediately finding yourself beside the oceanfront restaurants. Some travelers enjoy the quieter setting. Others may feel more dependent on hotel transportation, taxis, or longer walks. And depending on the route, Tenerife's hills can transform a short walk on a map into an unexpected leg workout. The property has a respectable range of facilities, especially for its price category, but its overall guest feedback sits closer to good than exceptional. That usually means the experience is not universally terrible. It means consistency may be the issue. One of the most common areas of disagreement is food. Some guests report finding enough variety and enjoying the mix of Spanish and international dishes. Others describe the buffet as repetitive, limited, or disappointing. Those opposite opinions tell us something useful. The food may be acceptable for travelers who are not especially demanding and who enjoy straightforward buffet meals, but it may frustrate anyone booking an all-inclusive specifically because they want dining to be a major part of the experience. This is where the low price can become deceptive. Saving several $100s feels wonderful during the booking process, but if you begin eating away from the hotel after 2 days, the value of your all-inclusive package disappears very quickly. Some parts of the property have also been described as dated. Dated does not necessarily mean dirty, and older hotels can still offer excellent hospitality. But when a resort's public areas, rooms, furniture, or bathrooms show their age, the difference between promotional photography and reality becomes more noticeable, especially when the photographs were taken in perfect lighting, from the one corner of the room that has never met a suitcase. The spa is another feature you should investigate before booking. Never assume that every spa service is included just because the word spa appears in the hotel name. Treatments, circuits, access times, towels, and specific facilities may cost extra or operate under separate conditions. Always check the package details. Blue Sea Costa Jardín may work for travelers who prioritize price, a large pool, friendly staff, and a base for exploring northern Tenerife. But travelers seeking modern rooms, outstanding food, direct beach access, or a premium resort atmosphere should compare carefully before committing. And if food is already a concern here, the next property introduces another problem. Its location is incredibly convenient for the airport, perhaps a little too convenient. Number 5, Hotel Beatriz Playa and Spa, Lanzarote. Hotel Beatriz Playa and Spa occupies a beachfront location in Matagorda, near Puerto del Carmen. It has large communal areas, swimming pools, entertainment, spacious rooms, multiple food options, and very short airport transfers. For families arriving with tired children, that short transfer can feel like winning the lottery. You leave the airport, you sit down, and before the children have asked, "Are we there yet?" for the 7th time, you basically are. But being close to Lanzarote Airport comes with an obvious trade-off: aircraft. Some travelers enjoy watching planes arrive and depart. For aviation fans, it may even be a bonus. For guests expecting complete silence beside the pool, the location may be less charming. The effect depends on your room position, your sensitivity to noise, and the flight schedule, but it is something the glamorous beach photos cannot fully explain. The resort has accumulated thousands of reviews, and the overall picture is mixed. Many guests praise the location, spacious rooms, pools, staff, and breakfast. Others believe parts of the hotel feel dated or in need of renovation. This is especially important when choosing a room category. Some guest reports suggest that upgraded or renovated rooms can create a noticeably better experience than older standard rooms. That means 2 families staying in the same hotel during the same week may return home describing what sounds like 2 completely different properties. One family received a fresh, updated room. The other may have received a room whose interior still remembers when people printed boarding passes. Food receives similarly mixed reactions. Some guests report plenty of choice and a perfectly enjoyable all-inclusive experience. Others consider dinner weaker than breakfast or find the quality inconsistent. Large buffet resorts face a difficult challenge. They must feed hundreds of people quickly, repeatedly, and at a price that still leaves the hotel profitable. That usually rewards quantity, efficiency, and broad appeal. It does not always reward subtle flavor, careful presentation, or meals that feel different every evening. If you are happy with familiar buffet food, salads, basic grilled items, and a rotating selection, you may be satisfied. But if the food is one of your biggest reasons for booking all-inclusive, inspect recent restaurant reviews before paying. There may also be extra charges that surprise some travelers. Guests have mentioned paying for pool towel use or deposits, depending on the package and current hotel policy. A small fee may not destroy a vacation, but it can weaken that magical idea that the wristband has removed every financial decision from your week. There is a wider issue here. The hotel is often presented as a 4-star property, but star ratings in Spain can be heavily influenced by facilities and official regional criteria. They do not guarantee that every room feels recently renovated or that service will match your personal idea of 4-star luxury. A hotel can technically offer the facilities associated with its category while still feeling older than a newer property with the same number of stars. So should everyone avoid Hotel Beatriz Playa and Spa? No. It can make sense for families who want a large resort, short transfers, access to the seafront, entertainment, and a potentially affordable package. But before booking, confirm the room type. Read recent reviews from guests who stayed in that exact category. Check which restaurants and drinks are included, and decide whether aircraft noise will bother you, because the airport is not moving. The next hotel offers bungalow-style accommodation and a relaxed layout, but the word relaxed may disappear quickly when the resort reaches full capacity. Number 4. HL Rio Playa Blanca, Lanzarote. HL Rio Playa Blanca is located in Playa Blanca, one of Lanzarote's most popular family destinations. Unlike a traditional tower hotel with long interior corridors, the property uses low-rise bungalow-style accommodations spread across the grounds. That layout can feel open and informal. Families get more of a holiday village atmosphere. Children have space. There is entertainment. There are pools. And the famous Playa Flamingo is within reach. At first glance, this feels like the safer choice on our warning list, and in many ways it may be. The hotel receives plenty of positive comments about its animation team, family atmosphere, and certain food options. So why include it? Because a good family resort and a good resort for every traveler are very different things. The overall feedback suggests a property that many people enjoy, but one that does not deliver perfect consistency. Cleanliness, maintenance, and room condition receive more mixed feedback than the location. That gap should get your attention. When a hotel's location score is noticeably stronger than its room or cleanliness scores, it may mean the destination is doing part of the hotel's work. Guests love being in Playa Blanca. They may enjoy the sunshine, nearby beaches, and island itself, but that does not automatically mean every part of the accommodation feels equally polished. The sprawling layout can also create inconveniences. Your bungalow may be farther from the restaurant, pool, or main facilities than expected. For young families, that walk may be manageable. For older travelers or anyone with mobility limitations, it is worth requesting a conveniently positioned room before arrival. Do not assume ground floor means close to everything. It may simply mean there are no stairs between you and your 10-minute expedition to breakfast. Food is generally described as standard all-inclusive fare. That phrase sounds harmless, but it carries an important message. It usually means most travelers can find something to eat. It does not mean most travelers will remember the dinner 6 months later. During peak school holiday periods, the atmosphere can become busy. Pools, restaurants, bars, entertainment areas, and sunbeds all serve large numbers of families at roughly the same time. If you enjoy a lively family environment, that energy may be exactly what you want. If you imagine quietly reading beside the pool, you may finish fewer pages than planned. There is also the issue of resort identity. This is a family-centered property. Couples sometimes book family resorts because the price looks attractive or because the photographs show large facilities. Then they complain that the resort is full of children. That is like booking a water park and being shocked by the presence of water. The problem is not necessarily the hotel. The problem is the match. HL Rio Playa Blanca may work well for active families who value entertainment, a casual environment, and the flexibility of bungalow accommodation. But travelers expecting modern luxury, gourmet food, or a peaceful couples retreat should look elsewhere. And the next resort demonstrates why even a famous location like Costa Adege cannot rescue a package that does not suit your expectations. Number 3. Laguna Park 1, Tenerife. Costa Adege is one of the most desirable resort areas in Tenerife. It has beaches, restaurants, shopping, boat trips, water parks, and some of the island's most luxurious hotels. That reputation makes almost any accommodation using the words Costa Adege feel immediately appealing. Laguna Park 1 offers apartments, a large swimming pool, entertainment, and a location within reach of the coast. Its prices can be far lower than those of the luxury properties farther along the shoreline. For budget travelers, this looks like a clever way to enjoy an expensive destination without paying an expensive price. And it can be, but only when you understand what you are actually booking. This is not a secluded beachfront resort. It is an apartment-style complex in a busy tourism zone. The walk back from the coast may involve slopes. Tenerife does not care that you just ate 3 plates at the buffet. The hill remains the hill. The property's overall guest feedback sits around the lower end of the good category. That suggests plenty of travelers have acceptable or enjoyable visits, but it also warns us not to expect refined luxury. Apartments may feel basic. Decor and facilities may show age. Busy periods can affect the availability of sunbeds, space around the pool, restaurant atmosphere, and noise levels. This is one of those properties where price strongly influences satisfaction. A guest who pays a low amount and expects a simple base may feel they received fair value. A guest who pays peak season prices and expects a polished all-inclusive resort may feel completely differently. The all-inclusive package also deserves close examination. Apartment complexes sometimes offer a more limited food and beverage experience than purpose-built premium resorts. Check serving times, check snack availability, check which drinks are included, check whether the package ends at a particular hour on departure day, check whether certain items require payment, because all-inclusive is not one internationally standardized product. It is a label covering hundreds of different systems. At one resort, premium spirits, a la carte dinners, room service meals, minibar refills, and activities might be included. At another, the package may mean local drinks and buffet meals during defined hours. Both can legally and accurately call themselves all-inclusive. That single phrase tells you far less than most travelers assume. Laguna Park 1 is not automatically a bad choice. It may suit groups, younger travelers, and budget-conscious families who want an affordable base near Costa Adeje, but it is risky for travelers who expect direct beach access, contemporary rooms, quiet surroundings, or an elevated dining experience. You are paying for access to the destination, not necessarily the full luxury Costa Adeje experience. And our next property creates an even bigger expectation problem, because it combines a famous destination, package holiday convenience, and appealing prices with a guest experience that can feel much more basic than expected. Number 2. Sol y Sombra, Benidorm. Benidorm is one of Spain's most misunderstood destinations. Some people see high-rise buildings, busy beaches, nightlife, and crowds. Others see reliable sunshine, accessible entertainment, affordable packages, and one of Europe's easiest places to enjoy a straightforward beach holiday. Neither side is completely wrong. Benidorm knows exactly what it is. The danger comes when a hotel guest does not. Sol y Sombra is positioned within reach of Benidorm's attractions and Poniente Beach. It offers pools, family accommodation, dining, and package holiday convenience. Its prices can be appealing compared with newer or more modern hotels, but the overall guest feedback sits closer to acceptable than exceptional. That is not a disaster. It means many guests had a good or reasonable stay, but it also means there is a meaningful distance between the experience here and the consistently excellent feedback found at Spain's strongest resorts. The first issue is atmosphere. Benidorm hotels often serve a mixture of domestic Spanish travelers, international package tourists, families, couples, groups, and long-stay guests. Mealtimes, entertainment, food preferences, and social atmosphere may be designed for a broad audience. That diversity is part of Benidorm's character. But some international travelers arrive expecting the hotel to operate like a British resort placed inside Spain. Then they are surprised when Spanish guests eat later. Entertainment follows different tastes, and the food does not revolve entirely around familiar dishes from home. Just to confirm, a Spanish hotel containing Spanish guests is not a service failure, but it may still be a mismatch for someone looking for a highly international luxury environment. The second issue is that lower-priced city hotels often have smaller pool areas than the enormous resort photographs travelers associate with all-inclusive holidays. A rooftop pool or compact outdoor area can look attractive from the correct camera angle. It can feel far less generous when many guests arrive at the same time. That is why you should examine guest photographs rather than relying only on professional images. Professional photographs show the property. Guest photographs show the property with guests actually inside it. Room condition and sound insulation can also matter in a busy urban destination. Benidorm does not become silent because you close a balcony door. Traffic, entertainment, neighboring rooms, elevators, and late arrivals can all affect the experience. If sleep is your highest priority, request a quieter room and study the hotel's position carefully. Sol y Sombra may be perfectly acceptable for price-conscious travelers who want to explore Benidorm and use the hotel mainly for meals and sleep. But travelers expecting a self-contained beach resort with large tropical grounds, multiple premium restaurants, and peaceful poolside relaxation are booking the wrong product. This is not the type of all-inclusive where you disappear behind the gates for 7 days. Benidorm itself is the main attraction, and that brings us to the biggest warning on this list, a hotel that looks like excellent value because it combines gardens, pools, entertainment, a spa, and dramatic Tenerife scenery. But this type of booking can become one of the easiest ways to waste money on an all-inclusive package. Number 1. Blue Sea Costa Jardín and Spa, Tenerife. Yes, Blue Sea Costa Jardín appeared earlier, but the number 1 warning is not simply one hotel, it is the booking trap this type of hotel represents. A lower cost, older, all-inclusive resort with a long list of facilities can look like unbeatable value. Pool, spa, buffet, entertainment, sports, drinks, mountain views, ocean views. Everything appears to be included, and the entire package may cost less than a room-only stay at a luxury property in southern Tenerife. That comparison makes the decision feel obvious, but resort value cannot be measured by counting facilities. A hotel can have 10 facilities you barely enjoy. Another can have 3 things and execute all 3 exceptionally well. The danger is buying the longest list rather than the best experience. Blue Sea Costa Jardín receives positive feedback for friendly staff, views, gardens, and affordability. Those positives should not be ignored. Hotel employees are often working extremely hard inside systems they did not design and budgets they do not control. But mixed feedback about food, dated areas, maintenance, and location shows why the lowest all-inclusive price may not produce the lowest total vacation cost. Imagine booking 7 all-inclusive nights because you want complete convenience. On day 2, you become tired of the buffet. On day 3, you begin paying for lunch in town. Then you use taxis because the hotel is not where you expected. Then you pay separately for premium drinks. Then you book an outside spa because the on-site experience is not what you imagined. Suddenly, your cheap all-inclusive holiday has become a room with several prepaid meals you are no longer eating. This is why you must calculate value based on behavior, not inclusions. Ask yourself honestly, will I eat most meals at the hotel? Will I use the entertainment? Will I spend several days beside the pool? Am I comfortable with buffet dining? Do I mind an older room if it is clean? Will I rent a car? Am I choosing northern Tenerife for its scenery, or did I accidentally assume it would feel like the southern beach resorts? When the answers align, the hotel may be good value. When they do not, the package becomes a trap. And there is another complication. Online review platforms are useful, but a single summary score never tells the full story. A hotel can receive high marks for staff and low marks for food. A family can love the animation while a couple hates the noise. A guest in a renovated room can award 9 out of 10, while someone in an older room gives 5. The average becomes 7, but no guest actually experienced the mathematical average. They experienced one room during 1 week with 1 crowd, 1 weather pattern, and 1 set of expectations. That is why the safest method is not reading only the newest 5-star review. Read recent reviews rated 2, 3, and 4 out of 5. Middle reviews are often the most useful because they contain both praise and criticism. They are less likely to be written during extreme anger or extreme excitement. Blue Sea Costa Jardín is our number 1 caution because it symbolizes the most common all-inclusive mistake in Spain: booking a list of facilities instead of booking an experience. Fortunately, Spain also has all-inclusive resorts that appear to execute the concept at a much higher level. They cost more, sometimes much more. But unlike the cheaper options, the strongest resorts can make staying inside the property feel like the main event rather than a compromise. Let us look at 3 safer choices. Safe choice number 3, H10 Atlantic Sunset, Tenerife. H10 Atlantic Sunset is located in Playa Paraíso on Tenerife's southwestern coast. This is not the busiest part of Costa Adeje, and that is part of the appeal. The property feels more like a self-contained modern resort than a budget hotel placed near a tourism district. Its design is contemporary. The rooms are spacious. There are multiple pools. Families have dedicated facilities. Adults can access quieter areas depending on the room category and package. And the ocean views create the type of visual drama people imagine when booking the Canary Islands. More importantly, the resort receives consistently strong strong guest feedback for cleanliness, facilities, family friendliness, food selection, and staff. No resort is perfect. Some guests may find Playa Paraíso quieter or more isolated than they expected. If you want to walk out of the hotel and immediately enter a huge nightlife district, this location may not suit you. But unlike some hotels on our caution list, the relative isolation here supports the resort concept. The property is designed to keep guests comfortably occupied. That difference is crucial. A remote budget hotel can feel inconvenient. A remote high-quality resort can feel private. H10 Atlantic Sunset is especially well suited to families. The pools, children's facilities, entertainment, and spacious design help distribute guests across the property. That does not mean peak weeks will feel empty. No large family resort feels empty during school holidays unless everyone has simultaneously gone on an excursion, but the infrastructure is better prepared for the crowd. Food is another important advantage. Guest feedback frequently mentions variety and quality. The resort offers several dining options, although access can depend on your package, length of stay, and room category. This is where even a strong hotel requires attention. Do not assume every restaurant is available every night without reservations. Premium or privileged style packages may include additional benefits that standard guests do not receive. Confirm the details before arrival. The strongest feature here is consistency. A modern room does not guarantee great service. A large pool does not guarantee enough space. Multiple restaurants do not guarantee good food. But when strong feedback appears across several categories, the resort becomes a safer bet. H10 Atlantic Sunset is not cheap, and travelers planning to explore Tenerife every day may not receive maximum value from an expensive all-inclusive package. You would be paying for facilities you barely use. But for families who want a modern, comfortable resort holiday with minimal planning, it is one of the more convincing options. Still, our next safe choice offers something different. Instead of a huge modern family complex, it combines polished service with one of Tenerife's most established luxury resort areas. Safe choice number 2, Iberostar Selection Antalya, Tenerife. Iberostar Selection Antalya sits in Costa Adeje, close to 2 beaches and some of southern Tenerife's most desirable walking areas. The location immediately solves one of the biggest weaknesses found at many all-inclusive resorts. You do not feel trapped. You can spend the morning beside the pool, walk along the coast in the afternoon, visit shops or restaurants, and return without organizing a taxi expedition. The resort is particularly popular with families, but its atmosphere generally feels more polished than a typical high-energy budget complex. That balance is difficult to achieve. A resort needs to keep children entertained without making adults feel like they accidentally booked a 7-night birthday party. Antalya's layout, service, pools, and dining options help create different spaces for different types of guests. The property also receives high marks for cleanliness and attentive staff. Those 2 factors matter more than travelers sometimes realize. A spectacular lobby creates the first impression. Consistent housekeeping and service create the vacation. Food quality is another reason this hotel appears near the top of Spanish all-inclusive lists. Guests often mention variety, freshness, and options suitable for families. That does not guarantee every dish will impress every traveler. Buffets are still buffets. You may still see another guest construct a plate containing sushi, pasta, roast chicken, and one unexplained piece of watermelon. But a strong buffet offers enough quality and rotation that you do not feel punished for eating there repeatedly. The potential downside is price. At a premium resort, the question changes. You are no longer asking whether the hotel is acceptable. You are asking whether the experience justifies the premium compared with a high-quality bed and breakfast stay. Costa Adeje has excellent restaurants. If you love exploring local dining, paying for every hotel meal may restrict rather than improve your trip. All-inclusive makes the most sense here for families, travelers who drink regularly at the hotel, and guests planning several full resort days. It makes less sense for visitors who intend to rent a car each morning and return after dinner. There can also be differences between standard and upgraded experiences. Premium zones, room categories, and added services can influence how luxurious the stay feels. Compare packages carefully. Still, Iberostar Selection Antalya earns its safer status because its location, guest feedback, service, and facilities appear to support the premium positioning. It does not merely use the word selection. It generally behaves like the guest was selected for something pleasant. But the final resort takes the all-inclusive concept even further. It includes high-end restaurants, activities, childcare options, and a surprising benefit designed to prevent you from spending the entire holiday behind the resort gates. Safe choice number 1, Ecos Andalusia, Costa del Sol. Ecos Andalusia is located on the Costa del Sol between Estepona and Marbella, and it operates in a completely different category from the budget properties we discussed earlier. This is luxury all-inclusive. Not the local beer is available between 11 and 10. Actual luxury all-inclusive. The resort has multiple pools, direct access to the beach, extensive children's facilities, numerous restaurants, bars, sorts wellness activities, and a far more ambitious food program than the traditional repetitive buffet model. Different restaurants serve different cuisines. Menus are designed with input associated with highly regarded chefs. Wine and drink selections are more extensive than at the average package resort, and table service plays a much larger role. Naturally, all of this comes with a price. A week here can cost several times more than a stay at one of the hotels on our caution list, so calling it better value requires context. It is not cheaper, it is simply more likely to deliver the elevated experience its marketing promises. One of the most interesting features is the resort's effort to connect guests with the surrounding destination. Certain packages and programs have included local dining experiences, museum or attraction access, and even use of a small car for a day of exploration. Always confirm current inclusions directly before booking, because programs can change, but the philosophy matters. Traditional all-inclusive resorts sometimes behave as though leaving the property is an act of betrayal. Every meal eaten elsewhere feels like wasted money. Ecos tries to reduce that tension. It recognizes that guests traveled to Spain, not merely to a fenced collection of swimming pools that could exist in any sunny country. That connection to place makes the experience feel less artificial. The Costa del Sol offers historic towns, coastal drives, restaurants, markets, and Andalusian culture. Encouraging guests to explore adds value instead of treating the outside world as competition. The resort also handles families more thoughtfully than many luxury hotels. Children's clubs, activities, and childcare style services can allow parents to enjoy parts of the property without spending every second negotiating with a small person who suddenly refuses to eat anything except bread. At the same time, couples can find adult-oriented areas and higher-end dining. No large resort completely eliminates crowds. Restaurant reservations may require planning. Premium room categories can offer benefits that create a noticeably different experience. And during busy periods, even a luxury property must manage a large number of guests. You should still read recent reviews before booking. You should still confirm what your exact package includes. And you should still compare the total price with alternatives. But Ecos Andalusia represents what all-inclusive can become when the resort focuses on quality rather than merely quantity. The difference is not that it includes more food. The difference is that the food is designed to remain enjoyable after the third day. The difference is not that it has more pools. It is that the overall space, service, and organization make the pools feel like part of a luxury vacation. And the difference is not that guests never leave. It is that leaving does not feel like wasting the holiday. For travelers who can justify the price and want a genuinely premium, low planning experience, this is one of Spain's safest all-inclusive choices. So what is the real lesson? The resorts on our caution list are not automatically terrible, and the resorts on our safe list are not guaranteed to be perfect. The greatest difference is the gap between expectation and reality. A simple 3-star hotel can produce a fantastic vacation when you expect simple rooms, basic buffet meals, and a lively location. A 4-star property can create major disappointment when you expect luxury and receive an aging room, repetitive food, and extra charges. Before booking any Spanish all-inclusive, check 5 things. First, open recent guest photographs, not just the professional images. Look at the pool when it is busy. Look at the standard rooms. Look at the buffet. Look at the bathroom, and look at the area immediately outside the hotel. Second, read the middle reviews, not only the perfect scores and not only the furious 1-star complaints. Middle reviews usually explain both the strengths and weaknesses. Third, check the exact package. Which drinks are included? How many a la carte meals can you book? Are reservations required? Does the package include snacks? Are pool towels free? Is the spa included? And does all-inclusive continue after checkout? Fourth, study the location on a real map. How far is the beach? Is the walk uphill? Are restaurants nearby? Will aircraft pass overhead? And how much will taxis cost if you decide to eat elsewhere? Finally, choose based on your behavior. Do not book all-inclusive because it sounds convenient. Book it because you will actually use it. The cheapest package is expensive when you dislike the food. The most luxurious resort is poor value when you spend every day exploring somewhere else. But when the hotel, package, destination, and traveler all match, an all-inclusive holiday can still be one of the easiest ways to enjoy Spain. Just remember, the wristband is not magic. Read the details before you let it control your entire vacation. And for more honest rankings and travel warnings, subscribe to Travel Tea. We will see you in the next one.